Okay, folks, the reason why I'm going to do this tonight is because I was told that my discussion of radians was too long, and I'm going to redo the whole dang thing, so we're going to start with this. Okay, now this is a circle. Obviously, we've been talking about this in Euclidean geometry. You can see it here. Now, why are these called radians? Well, first of all, when you have a circle, a radian is half of a diameter. Now, what's the diameter of a circle? That's the line that goes through the circle that chops the circle into two equal parts. Now, if that's a little too fast for you, I'll say it again. A straight line that goes through the circle, goes through the actual center of the circle, that divides the circle into two equal areas. Okay, because you're going to have a half a sphere here, and you're going to have a half a sphere here. Okay, you're going to have half a circle and half a circle. And if this half of the circle and this half of the circle is the same area, and there's a line that goes between those two areas, that line is called the diameter of the circle. Yeah. A radius is half of the length of the diameter. Now then, why are they called radii? Okay, this came from rays of the sun. When people draw a picture of the sun, they draw it as a circle. And they show these nice little rays that protrude out of it. Hence the name radius. Okay. Now, we now know what a diameter of a circle is. We know what the radius is. So what's a radian? Okay. If you have an arc length, okay, like this, and if you were to take this arc length and draw it out as though it were a straight line, okay, we're going to say that this arc length here and this are the same measure. Okay, now if this arc length measure here is exactly the same as the measure of the radius of the circle, then you've got a radian. Okay, now then, we know that the circumference of the circle is 2 pi r. Okay? Now let's suppose that r here is 1. Why do we call it 1? Well, this is where I got in trouble the last video that I did. And I'm going to say this. Okay? When you're talking about radians, you're talking about one of some kind of a unit measure. Now, that unit measure could be anything. Anything between millimeters, inches, miles. It doesn't matter the unit that you're actually using, as long as it's a number 1. Okay? So hopefully you understood that. If you don't, come back here, leave a comment below, and I'll tell you again. But like I said, when you're talking unit measure, it doesn't matter the unit you're using as long as it's one of something. And that's where we get this. Now, if we have 2 pi, okay, we're going to drop the r because we're going to say that the r is a 1. So if we have 2 pi here, then this length right here is pi. The diameter of the circle is pi. And if we draw this, this becomes pi divided by 2. Okay? Now then, you say, well, this arc here is the same length as this arc here. How do we find the coordinates of this point if this arc here is the same length as this arc here? We use what is called the distance formula. And in my next discussion, I'm going to show you how to use the distance formula to find this point right here. Alright? I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.